It doesn't matter what you think!
Let's get it.
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Shake and bake.
Are you ready?
Welcome back to another episode of Software Explorations. We are in for it tonight. We're going to have a really good time working on building out this API. I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are engineered to win. How is everyone doing tonight? Tonight is Thursday, September 12th, 2024. We don't miss. No, we don't. We don't miss. Let me acknowledge you guys early in the chat. We got my guy, Yakar, the king of the tech pookies. What's going on, Yakar? Hopefully you're having an amazing day. And we got the one, the only Roxy in the building. How are you doing tonight, Roxy? Hopefully you're having an amazing day as well. And I got my guy, Darcel, in the building. Good evening to you as well, Darcel. All right, we have some good stuff in store for us tonight. Working on building out this API. We're going to be having some conversations during the break. I went to this story writing thing tonight, or not tonight, but this afternoon, and it was really good. If you're into agile and being efficient and stuff like that, really good stuff. So let me put this here. So welcome to Software Explorations. I appreciate you all for being here. We are going to get into our housekeeping, going through our agenda, and then we're going to get to work. All right, we're going to get to work. So I just wanted to start us off right. Let's get to it, and then so first and foremost, we're going to do our housekeepings and our gratitudes. So let's go to that. All right. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you so much to all of the newest subscribers. Thank you to all of the people who have been with me for a very long time. Thank you for those who joined the live streams or who watch the pre-recorded videos or the clips. I just appreciate you all.
Appreciate you.
You guys are the absolute best. Oh, you know what? Let me add this too, because I had a comment that was really cool that I'll mention as well. But all right, so let's continue. So I want to say a big salute and shout out to all of my tech savages. That includes the tech barbarians who work so hard, diligently every single day, putting in that time to learn JavaScript and Python and Playwright and Selenium. Even if I have to drag them kicking and screaming, no one will be left behind. We are going to win. We are going to run it up. And I'll tell you, sometimes I do have to drag them kicking and screaming, but it is what it is. It is what it is, right? Because Yakar, you know what? We don't miss. All right. And I want to say a special, well, before I even go there, right? So shout out to the tech barbarians, to the tech prodigy members, to the technical explorers, and of course, I can never forget my tech mercenaries who are taking care of business. Those are the YouTube members. And of course, we can never, ever forget, shout out to the bag chasers.
Money. Hey.
And of course, the king of the tech pookies and the tech pookies themselves. Shout out to you all. Yes, the tech pookies as well. I'm telling you, they be programming on their couch in their wife beaters. It is what it is, because hey, they're still tech. They are still tech. All right. They might be working from home in their house shoes and some shorts and their wife beater, but they get the job done. They get the job done. So shout out to the tech pookies. But now I have to give a big congratulations, celebrations to my tech barbarian, who I think we've been working together now for like 6 months now, and maybe 7. But regardless of how long, they got offered a full-time job today. They got in the door. I mean, they got in the door over the summer with an internship, but they got offered a full-time job today. Shout out to my tech barbarian Tiff. And I'm gonna celebrate her real quick because she did it. She did it. Right. And now the only thing that's going to be her limitation is the sky. Sky's the limit. And you know what? With SpaceX today, maybe even the sky won't be able to stop her. So let me celebrate my tech barbarian real quick.
Let's get it. Ain't believing us.
They didn't believe in us, but I believe in us. And that's all that matters. We believe in ourselves and we are going to go out there and get it. Nothing is ever, ever going to stop us. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick as we get started is I got a comment. I think it was 2 days ago. I got a comment on it was a clip of a live stream of when we were setting up Mongo and to connect with AWS and using the VPC private endpoints. And it was a really detailed comment asking like some issues that they were having. And I just really appreciated that comment because I even went into break it down like this is how my configuration is because they were having issues that I was having back then. So hopefully that was able to help. And I said, hey, if it doesn't work, send me an email, we can figure it out. But yeah, I really appreciate those type of comments where that is like really adding value to people who are actually working in the field, trying to get things to work the same way that I be trying to figure things out. So whenever somebody reaches out to me, I really appreciate it.
You.
And if I'm ever able to help, let me know, and I will get back to you. It might take me a couple of days because I am busy, but I will do my best. I mean, I logged into AWS this morning, and I was looking at my configuration, and hopefully what I shared is able to help. But if not, reach out to me. All right. So I just wanted to share that, and as well, if you haven't done so already, do me a big favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live and drop new content, and go over to techcoachralph.dev. Check out every other week I'm uploading the sprint review that we have from our last sprint, so you can see the type of things that goes on in the sprint review. This past sprint review, the sprint didn't go as we planned it to go, but we still spoke about it. So you can see the good times and the bad times and how we work through it. So you can see how agile is done, how sprint reviews are done. So that's techcoachralph.dev. You can sign up for free to get access to the sprint review. I also upload the full Scrum night as well as other content. And you can always sign up for one-on-one coaching as well if you are interested in leveling up your technical skills or your career skills, all of that good stuff. All right. So that's techcoachralph.dev. Go and sign up today. You can sign up for free. And then if you need more, then you can level up from there. All right. So that is techcoachralph.dev. All right. Let's jump into our live show schedule real quick. Sunday afternoons, we have software explorations. We are currently working our way through DevOps. We're probably going to be touching on microservices this coming Sunday. And then hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so, we're going to be getting into Kubernetes, which we've been talking about. We have our morning shows Mondays and Wednesdays. We start around 7:15 to 7:45, depending on what's happening that day. Mondays and Wednesdays, we have Coffee and Kata. We review some news articles, we have a cup of coffee, and then we also are working on our mobile development right now, working on the time cost calculator, adding an update. We did a lot of progress yesterday. We got a few things to work out, write some tests, and then sending it to testing before we publish it to the App Store. But it's really, really cool. Hopefully it adds a lot of value, and keep the ideas coming. If you have an idea that's going to be useful, let us know and we'll make it happen. All right. And then we have Tuesday nights Q&A. We had a great Q&A night the other night. We had my guy Telltale Woke call in. We had a great conversation. So, shout out to him as well. Working hard and leveling up. A very, very young guy who has a plan, a vision. So let's get it. Let's get at it. All right. And then we have Thursday nights, we have software explorations tonight, where we work on different things, but right now we're probably going to be working on our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data that we use on the Saturday morning shows, which leads us to Saturday mornings. We have the Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate show. That is where we review the weekly economic data to see how things are going, to see how are they trying to confuse us and lie to us and all of that crazy, crazy stuff. And I have it written right here. Remember to mention that it's co-hosted by Mitch and Yakar, because if I don't have it written, then I'm going to forget. And then Mitch is going to come in and says, "Oh, we're not part of the show anymore. You always have to mention us." And I do not want I don't want those troubles. Is this already in the show, right? Nope, don't want it. All right. So I have a note. Always remember to mention Mitch and Yakar, which I did. Okay. So don't at me. All right. So that is all of our live shows. But wait, there's more. We also have pre-recorded content. So Mondays, we have candid conversations where you and I, we talk. And I let you know what's on my mind and what the things that I see and why things are not going well. This week, I spoke about why everything matters. Why everything matters, and they might tell you, oh, we won't be judging it based on this. We won't be judging it based on that. But now, if the person who said who they told the same things, who says, you know what, I'm going to go extra mile, I'm going to do the same content, but I'm going to do better presentation, and now you might miss out just because your presentation was a little bit off, even though you might have had the same content. All right, Wednesdays we have software explorations, concept and overviews, where we review different type of concepts and softwares and ideas and things in the tech industry. Right, this week we did Kubernetes. Yesterday we did Kubernetes part 2. We went a little bit more in depth, talking like going into the core objects and resources and the advanced ones. We talked about the challenge, we went in depth into the challenges that you can face and some of the best practices. Really, really good. So I would highly recommend you check that out. Fridays, we have the Bug Bite, where we review different data breaches, software industry bugs, defects, things of that nature. We dive into that. This week we're going to be talking about what my guy Mitch mentioned to me, I think it was on Monday, with the Medicare data breach that, it gave out a lot of people's personal information. So we're gonna review that tomorrow. Gonna schedule that video after we're done here, but that's gonna be a good one. And then throughout the week we have shorts as well as clips from the Q&A show, and I'm working on getting clips from the other live streams as well, so that we can provide a bunch of information out to you. So just trying to, because honestly, the live streams, they're very, very fun, very, very informative, but it's not easy for someone to always be able to sit through a whole live stream, especially if they're watching it on playback, which I am trying to add the timestamps to most of the videos, but it's still not easy, right? So I'm trying to clip them up so that someone like the person who left me the comment on the VPC private endpoint thing can, if they catch that, they follow along, and that gives them the information that they need. So yeah, I'm working on that. We're always working to make improvements, but that is our pre-recorded show. That is our live show. So shout out to that. And one more thing. So one of the people that I'm coaching, they're learning like cloud stuff. They're learning Azure. They've been getting their certifications. So I gave them a project to deploy the Quotes app to Azure, but they were having to Azure web apps, but they're having some trouble with that. So I'm most likely going to be going like doing a meeting or a meetup, or whatever you want to call it, in the Patreon this weekend. So I just have to schedule it in there. But if I do, it's going to be from 3 to 4. From 3 to 4:30 on Saturday, so that and that's gonna be my first time actually using Azure, and I'll probably just be like watching his screen and walking him through what to do. But it's gonna be my first time using Azure. But like I tell you guys, I can figure things out even if I don't have those certifications. I always tell you guys, the certification is a complement to your skill and your knowledge. It's not, oh, let me be able to pass a test, and then now you log in and you don't know how to navigate this stuff, So I'm probably going to be doing that in the Patreon this coming Saturday for maybe 3 to 4. It depends on how fast we get it done, right? If we get it done pretty quickly, then cool. But I don't want to. I'm going to try not to go past 4:30 because I have other things to do. But hopefully, I can get them like a good distance so they can carry it over the line himself. So it's probably going to be in Google Meet. So I'm going to work on getting that scheduled between tonight and tomorrow. If anyone wants to see how things go and how we do it. And there's going to be more of this stuff happening too. Like I might do it with Playwright and different things like that. Because share the knowledge, right? But I don't want to do it on YouTube because then you got to like entertain the people. I just want to get to work. So things of that nature, we just go straight through, no breaks. We run through the wall. All right. So just wanted to share that. So hopefully that is, that you find value in that and you join us and you can ask questions and things of that nature. All right. So let me get that off the screen. So here we are. All right. We are going to go through the chat real quick and then we're going to get to work. Let me see what we got. We got my guy in the building, me Masafai. How are you doing tonight? Hopefully you're doing well. Have you been able to go on those long walks lately? How's that going? Because I'm telling you, that's too much for me. I'll do some crazy things, but 15 miles. What? I'd rather fight 10 rounds than in jiu-jitsu than walk 10 miles. I'm just saying. And we got the one, the only Alexis in the building. How are you doing, Alexis? How are you doing? Kicking and screaming. Hey, I'm just saying. All right. Let me see. He meant coffee and kata starts at 5 a.m. First notification goes out at 4:30 a.m. That is if you are on the West Coast. That's if you're on the West Coast. I mean, your car, nobody told you to go all the way out there to California. You know, I'm just saying. And we got my guy Mitch is in the building. Says, guess who's back? The real is back. Make sure Mitch gets time stamped. You got consider it done.
Best.
All right. Says, I'm just a hustler disguised as a data guy. Okay. So are you Jay-Z's ghostwriter? Are you Jay-Z's ghostwriter? I'm just saying. Is that a compliment? I think that's a compliment. Mitch. So if it's not, take it as one. All right. So I'm gonna take the poll on your way in. Take the poll. I am curious to know your thoughts on what should happen to the police officer who, you know what, Tyreek Hill caught them hands of. He caught them hands. Tyreek Hill caught. Mitch, would you say Tyreek Hill got them hands? I'm just saying. I'm gonna star all of those related to that incident, and then we're gonna go through it at the end of the show when I end the poll. But take the poll. I am curious to know what you guys think about that whole ordeal. All right, so let's get to it. Let me see. Anything else in the chat before we continue? Nope, we're good. We are good. Me, my advice says I fell off. I got to get back to it. I know you're going to get to it. I'm not even worried about it. So, things happen, but it's not about yesterday. It's not even about today. It's about tomorrow. Are you going to get back on and get it done? That's all that matters. So I believe in you. Mitch says he doesn't need no damn poll. Mitch says, I don't need no damn poll. I got you, Mitch. I got you. All right, let's get to work. So, where is my, all right, so here's the agenda. So this is what we're going to do today, right? Let me start our first 20 minutes and then we're going to talk about it, or what the plan is for today and all that stuff, right? But do me a favor first, if you're new here, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content. Check out the Patreon, techcoachralph.dev. A lot of great content over there that I put so that it can help you level up. I'm going to be creating another video on how to use Glassdoor to enhance your job search when it comes to salary when they're asking you for like, oh, how much do you want? How to do all that type of search, how to prepare for the interviews, all of that good stuff, right? But that's good. That's going to only be at techcoachralph.dev. So with that being said, let's get the show on the road.
It's time to do.
All right, so today, well, I don't even know how to say today, but here are our next steps, right? Because this is gonna take this is probably gonna take for a few days. We need to set up our API layer. It's gonna be a microservice, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that. I think I did a software expressions concept and overviews on Wednesday about microservice, but I'll give you a 30-second rundown of what I mean by microservice. And then we're going to look at the existing API that the Dictionary app uses. And then we're going to determine what endpoints we need for our query. And then we're going to start building the API. And then the last step would be like connecting the front end to the back end, all that good stuff, right? So to get started, what do we need to set up the API layer? So we're going to need a database. We're going to use MongoDB, a NoSQL database. We're going to need our database schema, which I think we started to do last time, which I have to find that to see what we came up with. We're going to be using Docker. We should be pretty well. And this is the thing. This is the thing, right? Do you see how everything actually comes together? Everything ends up coming together, right? So learning Docker on Sundays, learning about the microservices and Docker, and I should do a video on Mongo as well, but learning all those concepts, and then we start to bring them together, right? So that we start to bring them together so that the Docker work, the DevOps work, the the AWS work, the Mongo work, all of it comes together to like now we're going to be building this app where we can have this dictionary. I don't know if I'm gonna actually host it somewhere. We'll see about that. But it's just gonna be something that we can use. It's gonna be something that we can use. All right. So we're gonna be using Node.js, Express, right? Our testing libraries for when we write our API test, our unit test. It's going to be a microservice. So what is the microservice, right? So the microservice is, in the video that we made, we describe a monolithic service versus a microservice. The monolithic service is everything is in one. So the front end is in one. Like when I say front end, the UI, the web application, whatever it is, like if it's a mobile app, whatever, right? That's, and then like where it gets the data layer is all in one. But the problem with that is it becomes very clunky. So if I make a change to the API, then I end up what's the word? Like redeploying, I guess that's the best word I could use. Redeploying the front end as well. And then now I can cause different problems. With the microservice, everything is separated. So like the API for the dictionary is going to be separated, right? Let's say we ended up creating an API for users, that's going to be separated. The front end, the web interface, that's going to be separated. The database is its own microservice, because it's going to be hosted somewhere else. But it's everything that you need is going to be separated into its own application, and then they work together via API calls. The good thing about that is, so we can have a web interface like we created last week, but then we can also create a mobile app where it's also pulling data from the microservice of the API. So we can have different tools that call into that API. You can even sell access to the API. If you ever look at Rapid API, where people sell access to their API based on the number of calls that they're making. So that's why we're going to be making a microservice, so that we can separate it. We can say, all right, right now I'm going to be working on the API. And then next you can say, oh, I'm working on the UI, and then we connect them that way together through Docker and things of that nature. So we're gonna have to create a new project for the API layer. Yeah. So and then I have the website of the guy that we're gonna be following to set up the API. Let me see. So that's pretty much it. Okay, we also need to determine what endpoints we're gonna need to create for the API. So right now I have listed, we're going to have to do a post. The post is going to be to be able to add new entries, new definitions to the database. We're going to do a get so that we can retrieve what we enter, so we can retrieve everything. We can be able to search it. We're going to do a patch. We can be able to update definitions, a put, a delete. So put is similar to patch, but you're updating the whole thing, and then we're going to do a delete as well, so we can get rid of words that might be in there. And so then after that, we're just going to start building the API, right? So that's pretty much all the things that we're going to do. Yeah. So first thing I'm going to do, then I'm going to go ahead and create the project. Let me go to this one. All right. So I'm going to create the project. So I already have a new project. I'm going to put it in here. I'm using WebStorm, economic dictionary. I should call it like, I'm gonna change the name. Urban Dictionary. Economic data API. So right here in the background, you see I have the one for the UI. Here I'm going to have the one for the, I'm going to probably change this name, but here I'm going to have the one for the API layer. And we're going to say we're going to create this in a new window. Move that over here. All right. So that's that. And we're going to come back to that. Right now, we're going to go over to this screen. So I think this is probably the same tutorial that I used last time when I started creating the quotes application. Let's go to. All right. So how to build an API with Mongoose and Express. So let me see. So how to build an API with Mongoose and Express. one of the reasons I like using NoSQL databases so much is because I can just start prototyping my API. At the same time, I can start inserting data into the database. And for that same reason, I love using Monk, because I don't need to define any type of schema. I just pass the data I want to insert into the database and it's done. But we are going to use a schema, so let's not go a little too crazy. However, it's not always the case. Sometimes I don't have all the collections defined in my head, but I have an idea. All right. So we're going to be following this. And let me see, do I want to start with this, or do I want to, let me see, where did I define the schema? Let me see if I can find it. Docs. Because I remember we started working on the schema. Let me see. Where did I start working on that? No, it's not. Is it this? No, it's not that. Could have sworn that. All right, let me try to find this. Because I remember we started working on it last stream. Ah, there it goes. So let me move this over here. All right, so we started working on the schema. So this is a list right here. And then I had it as economic indicator. Should I? Or should I put, so definition, economic indicator, source to data. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to see how I want this API, like so I'm saying, how do I want the API to be listed out, right? Not necessarily what I want the data or how the database is stored, but let me see, URL to report, definition. This is going to be the definition here. Examples go here. Economic, should I call it economic indicator? I guess we can. Just thinking, do I like this economic indicator? I liked it last week. I guess that's what it is. It is an economic. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. So we're gonna have, so this is how, so like when we do a get request, it should come up like this, right? This is a JSON dictionary. This is the list that it would be part of. So all right, cool. So that's perfect. Let's get not here. Let's get started with here. So we're gonna do npm and install express in Mongoose. Right, we're gonna do install express in Mongoose, and then we are going to, I hope this is the right version, but then we're gonna go to start building this stuff out. All right, and then we'll continuously run it as we get started. So I'm going to go to the screen over here. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to actually go to here. I'm going to say get status. I'm pretty sure there's going to be nothing. We're going to do get init. And it's initialized. And we're going to say, get status. We're going to create a get ignore file. Should have created on GitHub first, but let's go to, we start off with the get ignore file.getIgnore, and we're gonna add that, and I want to have the first thing in there, idea, and get status, get add.getIgnore. All right, so all right, so get branch. We're on main. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say get status, or not get status. I'm going to say get commit m initial commit with dot get ignore. Right. We're going to do that. I'm going to say get push. I have no idea what it's going to be pushing to. So while we're doing, I'm gonna go into GitHub real quick, and we're going to push this up so that we have repository. Let's go to new repository. So we're gonna go to, and I'm going to call this Urban Dictionary. Dictionary. Is that right? Dictionary. Okay, that looks right. Economic data API. And I'm not gonna put one of these now. I'm gonna make this private and let's see. Node. I'm gonna create the repository. And we have our repository created. Now I'm gonna go to code. I like to start off like this because, and I didn't do this for the, I forgot to do it for the for last week, but once we get back to it, we'll do that. But I want to, where is the thing I'm looking for? Not code spaces. Where do I commit this? So, all right, so let's go back over here. And we say git remote add name. Let me see. What's here? Okay. So git remote add here, and then URL. Oops, no, not that. We are gonna do. Is it like this? Let's see. Let's see if that worked. Git push. Let's go with that. Enter. And I'm going to reject it because, yep, makes sense. Git pull. Let me see. Git status. Did that work? I don't know. If you wish to chat tracking, so let me see. Let's get the setup of this repository done. Let's go here. Paste that there. I should have created it in GitHub first. But it is what it is. Main. Git push, maybe? Git pull. All right, let me get rid of this git ignore file. So git status. Git pull. Git commit. Remove. Remove dot git ignore. Let's go with that. Git pull. What the heck? Let me see. You have divergent. Let me try this. Get pull FF only. Get pull. Rebase. All right, let's see if we can do this. Thought I deleted it, but whatever. Let me see. Let's go like that. And let's go like that. Resolve conflicts. Thought I deleted it. All right, so let's do resolve all conflicts, then git add rm, and then dot git ignore. And then git rebase. Let's see. Oh. Oh, darn it. Let me see. What conflicts? What conflicts are we having here? Did I not add that? Git add or get, let me see, git status. What? So stupid. All right. Let me see. Git. Okay. Okay. All right. There we go. So I think we're good now. So now I'm going to add this to it. Okay. Git status. Git add dot git ignore. Git status. All right. Git commit. M updated.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
And then git push. All right, cool. We're good. We are good now. So next we're gonna do, after we come back from break, we're going to install Express. We're going to install Express and Mongoose. And we're gonna start building out the API and stuff like that. All right. But we're gonna go to break. We are gonna go to break. All right. Let's see what we got going on over here before we get to our first break. Me Mystified says, I've been letting life and YouTube get in my way. I hear that. The other day I was saying, like, when you add new things to your rotation, then you gotta find it's gonna take you some time to rebalance it so that you can fit everything in. Sometimes you're gonna have to cut some things out, but I totally hear that. Mitch says, we are all human. Life happens. Just don't stay there. That's a fact, Mitch. That bars. All right, let's get to our first break topic of the day. So, what do I have? Yes. Oh, yeah. This is one of, I love this topic. I love this topic. The question is, am I a black sheep? All right. That's why I have my black sheep of the family hoodie on. I have my black sheep hat on. I'm going to throw up a 5 minutes on that. All right. So Am I a black sheep? Are you a black sheep? Do you just want to do your own thing? Because a lot of times people try to recruit me to do their ideas, and I'm like, I'm just not really with it. Unless like if it's something that I want to do, then I'm gonna do it. But people try to sell me on their dreams and goals and ambitions and stuff like that. And one of the reasons that I personally back away from stuff like that is because because a lot of times when I try to join people in whatever it is that they have an idea about, I end up doing 90% of the work. And then once they don't believe in their own idea or vision anymore, they just drop it. And I'm like, I just invested all this time into your thing. And then but then here's also what happens, right? When I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it, I'm not with it, I'm just gonna do my own thing, I'm the one who gets the blame. I get the blame for why they can't move forward and why they can't succeed and why their plans are falling through the cracks. So that's why me, like at this point, I just embrace it. I'm like, you know what? I don't really care about what you want to do, because what happens when you don't care about what you want to do? Now I am the one who's going to have to, like, well, I just wasted a bunch of time, a bunch of money, a bunch of sleep trying to help you figure out what you wanted to do. So that's why I focus on my own things. And I don't really ask anybody to, like, oh, I'm depending on you. I don't depend on anybody, to be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, I believe that people should always be worried about themselves. I would rather people try to take care of themselves. And when you take care of yourself, then you, popular term, you unburden other people from what you have been. Right? That's my thought. Because people always want you to see things their way. And I was listening to the Millionaire Morning Show this morning. It's like the people with all the solutions, right? And the ability to fix things. When we get things done and we add a lot of benefit to others, but if you don't do things exactly their way, that doesn't work at the end of the day, then it's like something's wrong with you. So I just own it at this point. Like I've gotten blamed for things that I chose not to be a part of. Like it's not my own life. Like it's not my own mind, my own decisions, like the things that I want to do. Oh, you're like, you're not being part of the group. Be like, your group. I don't care. Like I'm like, how is it my fault that I don't want to join your team? I don't know. I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for that? Like I just want to build. I want to build my stuff. See, and here's how I see it. Right? Here's how I see it. If you build something and it's good, then people will come. And if it's not good, then make it better. But the same people who they'll try to recruit me to do what they want to do, right? And they're like, oh, since you like in the future, when this thing takes off, then
Move on, back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. back to work, back to work, back to work.
Like in the future, if this thing takes off, then you're on your own. Don't try coming to me. I'm like, and that's why for me, like when people say, "Oh, you don't want to burn any bridges," I'm like, man, I will burn it down. I will blow it up. Nope, because I bet on me. I bet on me. I don't blame anybody for my failures or anything like that. I'm gonna figure it out. But if you can't get your idea off the ground because of me, because I didn't sacrifice my time, my effort, and I'm sorry, I've been burned like that many times in the past, and they still come back. They're like, "Oh, I have this new idea. I have this new idea." You know, you ever meet the people who all they have are ideas, but never any execution? They just hop from idea to idea to idea. I'm gonna borrow a term from Mitch. That's trash. I don't rock with it, and I don't want to be. I just don't care. If I like your idea, and you're not a, I'll just use the term bad person, then I'll make it work. But a lot of times, like I don't. I just don't, at the end of the day, I just don't care. I just don't care. I just want to, at this point, I just want to build my own stuff, build my own team, and those who want to roll, we're gonna roll, and those who don't, I'm cool with that. But I'll never beg somebody. I'll never beg somebody for anything, you know. But I certainly won't beg anybody to roll with me and stuff like that. So that's why I'm wondering, am I the black sheep? Because I go my own way. I do my own things. I make my own decisions. I have my own mind. I see things my own way. I mean, as much as I appreciate Mitch in your car, I disagree with them from time to time. I mean, I think the very first time, I think I disagree with Mitch more than anybody. He always just come back and say that I was right, and then he gets then he goes back into the hood and he's like, "Oh my God, I can't turn my back on these people," and then they stab him in the back. Yes, they stab him in the back, and he comes back. You were right. You were right. And then he goes back and says, "Oh my God, but these people, they need me. They need their Superman." You know, not to pick on Mitch. I'm just giving an example, right? But anyways, that's how I'm just wondering, am I a black sheep? And are you a black sheep as well? All right. So let me check the chat real quick, and then we're going to get back to work. I really want to work on this stuff because it's pretty cool. Let me see. Mitch says, in the words of Jay-Z, I can't help the poor if I'm just like them. It's good. I understand. But even if you're not like them, a lot of times the poor don't want to be helped. I'm just saying. Am I wrong on that? Am I wrong? I believe in the fact you can't, people who don't, like, I can't help people who don't want to help themselves either. I'm just saying. And Mitch says that I am on thin ice with, well, Mitch, I think that I just, like, you know, run on thin ice with you. Like I just live on thin ice. I think I've been on thin ice since day one. And I like it. We keep each other on our toes, all right? And it says, disagree with me. I'm just saying. So I got rich. That's why. So I got rich. That's the win-win. That's what. Exactly.
Let's get it.
Make that money, Mitch. Make that money. All right. So we're gonna get into our second segment of the our second working segment. Let's do it because I'm having fun with this. All right. So let's get to it.
Let's go! Let's go!
Alexa says thin ice is his baseline. That is true. That is true. It is. I live life on the wildest safe side there could be. I'm just saying. It's the wildest safe side, you know? It's like it's very, very safe, but it's kind of wild. It's very, very safe. It's kind of wild. Oh my goodness, fighting words. I'm not gonna say it this time. But I am gonna show it. I am gonna show it. And you guys don't agree. Don't agree, your car. Don't agree with Alexis. Don't agree with her. Anyways, let's get to it. Let me see. We are going to this screen real quick. So we're gonna install Express and Mongoose. So when you're doing with npm, you can do install, and then you can put all the ones that you want to install. So you could do Express, Mongoose, yada yada yada. We're probably gonna end up installing super test in dev mode, probably that super test, so that we can test our API, maybe Mocha and Chai as well. But yeah, but let's get started. With this. Okay, so I'm gonna go to this screen and I'll just start typing this stuff in. All right, so we're gonna do npm install. Let me see if that's gonna show up. Install Express and Mongoose. Yeah.
Hey.
There we go. Nice. Let's see. All right, we got that. Let me see. We're gonna do next up. All right, so now we have all this installed. Let's go to our crap. Let me do all right, I can still do it. Git let's see. Okay. So I'm gonna do, let me get rid of this right here. I'm gonna do git branch. Let me create the branch now. Git branch or git checkout. B for branch, checkout branch. We're gonna do, let's call this branch. I'll just call it API layer setup. Call that. All right. So now we have a new branch. We are going to, on this new branch, we are going to do a new directory, and I'm going to call this directory. Do I need a directory? No, I don't need it here. I just need main. I'm going to do new JavaScript, and we're going to call this main.js. Add that, and let me see. Am I going to be using const, or am I going to be using the other thing? We'll see. Express equals require express. All right. Oh. Let's see. Express. All right. Require express. And const app express. And then we're going to do app.use express.json. And then we're going to say app.get. And I'm going to use the lambda instead. Don't like that. Hold on, let me go back. So app.get. And then we're going to go here, comma, async, rec. There we go. That's what I wanted. And we're just going to do a return. res.json message. Hello, tech coach Ralph and friends. So this is like the basic of the basic just to get this started, but then this is all gonna totally change. Wave. Did anybody see the SpaceX thing today? Anybody see the SpaceX thing today? Just curious. All right. Next up, we're going to go to const start equals async. And we're gonna do try app.listen, and we're gonna say that's gonna be on port 3000. And we're gonna do console.log server started on port 3000. All this stuff is gonna change, right? This is just to get our app up and running. And then we're gonna do here catch. Wait, not there. Catch error and console error. Process exit 1. All right, so we should be able to start this. So let's see what happens. And if that starts, then we can get started. Start. They say they should return a promise, but let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Don't want to do too much shit. Server started on port 3000. Let's go over to this screen. And if we do local host 3000, what would you look at them apples? So we have our server started for Express. Let me see. I don't like this looking like that. We'll figure that part out later. But we're good for now. We are good for now. So let's go to what's next. So on the list, so we have Express set up. Let me highlight that. So we got Express set up. We have Node.js set up. We need to set up a Mongo database. So let's go over here. We're gonna use Docker to do that. I'm not gonna read this whole thing. I'm just gonna go, this is what we need over here. I'm not gonna get a specific version. I'm just gonna get the latest one. All right. So we're gonna do Mongo run. We'll give it a better name than that. And we're gonna install the community edition. Set the port 27017. All right, let's do it. So get some water. Let's see if that one that we can do with the password too. Maybe we do this one right here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll do this one right here where we can set up a username and password for it. So I'm going to Create a .env file real quick. .env. We're gonna name MongoDB password or user. We'll call that Urban DB user. MongoDB password. We'll call that UD economic data 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go with that. All right, so that's our password. Now I'm going to open up a terminal. Open that up, and we're going to say Docker run, or nope, Docker run --name, and we'll call that Urban Dictionary. Okay, let's say Urban Dictionary economic data MongoDB or Mongo. We just call it Mongo. All right, we got that. And then we're gonna say -D for detach, P for port. We're gonna give it on. I'm gonna put on port 37017, and they're gonna go. We're gonna map that to the port inside the container of that. Say E for Mongo init DB root username equals, and we're gonna copy this username right here. And we're gonna say, let me just copy this password name equals, and we're gonna copy this temporary password that we put here. And then we're going to say MongoDB /MongoDB community server. And we're gonna say latest. Let's try that. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right. Well, that sucked. Let me see. So what's the error? It says must be lowercase repository name. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Willis? What did we get wrong in here? Docker run. We have the name of the Mongo container. Run a detach port E. What should be repository name? Oh, I need to put a second E. All right, it's my bad. So I need to put a second E here. All right, there we go with that. Let's try it again. Hey. So Docker PS, we have our database running. All right, so we have our database up. What's next? So let me go and check that off on the list. So we need our schema. So now let's go back to, where are we going back to? Let's go back over here. So now we are going to, now we're going to connect to our database apparently. And we're probably like, I'm just gonna get this to work first, and then we're gonna make it better afterwards. But let's go to, because after we get this to work, then we can start putting them in the right place, right? So Mongoose equals require Mongoose. We have that, and inside of this start over here, we're gonna do that a second try catch? Oh no, it's within this try. All right, so we're gonna do await mongoose dot connect, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna do, let's do that for now. And this is gonna be 37017. All this is gonna be externalized anyways, but just so we can get this to work. And I'm gonna say, oh, how do I do this again? For the time, all right. For the time being, I'm just gonna hard code this, but we will optimize all of this in the very, very near future. Colon. Just want to get this to work first. At, oh, let me share the screen. So this is what I'm doing, right? So I'm just making this connection to the, so I added Mongoose, right? And I'm making a connection to the database. There's not a database named Mongoose in there though. I should actually connect to the database actually. Let's do that. Let's do that too. Let's go to Atlas. No, not Compass. So that way we can actually connect to the database so you can see what we're working with here. Let's go to, let's connect to this right here. So we're connected. There's no databases. Let's create a database real quick. We're going to call this database Urban Dictionary Economic Data. Collection name. Let me see. Economic data terms. Let's try whatever. You can always change that afterwards. So create this database. We have our database. Copy that. Put that in here. Admin. All right, cool. So that should do it. I'm also going to say console.log connect to the database. All right, cool. Let's stop that and run it again. We are connected to the database. Nice. So let me check this off. We got Docker, we got connected to the database. So next up, we need to work on our schema. So let's go and take a look at that. Time is gonna run out, but we can start looking. So in this schema, in the model, actually, so I guess they're doing something for dog. So we're gonna do one that's going to match. We're gonna do one that's going to match what we set up over here. Right. So it's gonna be economic data, source of data, the URL to report, the definition. I guess the definition is fine. And then maybe we
Lunch
do
break. Lunch break.
maybe we do the example as another list because we can have multiple examples probably. Yeah, I'll think about that. So, I don't know. When I say think of it like a school, that feels like an example. I don't know. We'll figure it out because we can always update the definition anyway. So all right. So we'll do that when we come back. All right. But let's go to break. Let's go to break. All right. All right. How are we all doing today? This is good stuff. I love doing this type of stuff. I live for this. But it's break time. It is break time. Let me check the chat real quick, and then we will get to my second topic. Which the second topic is just going to be real quick about the webinar that I attended today for story writing. Mitch says, "It's so funny. I'm probably one of the people you disagree with the most." Oh my goodness. See, but that's the thing, Mitch. I like people that I disagree with. Because I have to sharpen my arguments. Let me see. Oh goodness. Yeah. All right, I wasn't gonna read this, but I have to. The part I'm not that rich yet. That's hilarious. Mitch says that was trash. Well. Says don't says just like this New Jersey Nets can't even keep a basketball team. You guys are hilarious. Let me see. Roxy says looked like a meerkat in a hole instead of a space. There wasn't a lot of walking involved, to be fair. There wasn't a lot of walking involved, but it was pretty cool. Like when I saw it this morning, they said that it was the furthest that that a spacecraft and space people, astronauts have been. And they were testing out the suit and stuff like that. I guess there was some new improved spacesuits and they were doing all their testing. I was pretty impressed. I was impressed, but you were totally right. They did look like a meerkat sticking their head out of a hole. That's pretty funny. That is very true. All right, let's get to our second break time topic for today. Attended a story writing webinar today. So let me put 5 minutes. I don't think I'll need 5 minutes, but I always say I don't think I need 5 minutes, and then I go past it. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. So let's go here. All right. So, you know what? Let me get my notes real quick. Let me get my notes really, really quick. All right. So it was pretty cool. So it was called Write Better User Stories in Less Time with Less Aggravation. And it was talking about how you can write better user stories. User stories are pretty much part of the foundation of Agile and Scrum and Kanban, because those user stories pretty much direct you to what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be implementing and things of that nature. So I just wanted to touch on some key points that I learned today, in that, because I mean I write a lot of user stories for like the coaching group and stuff like that. At work I write some user stories every now and then, but what I like, some things that stood out to me, right? I'll just read some of these notes, right? So they gave 3 techniques for writing user stories. I do need to go back and watch it because I was like working and doing other stuff while I was listening in. But it says, if you're not seeing as much progress as you'd like in an iteration is a cycle. So like a sprint is an iteration. So this can be a symptom of focusing on the urgent instead of the important, instead of what's important, right? And I think that is something that happens to a lot of us, where we have something to do, but then something pops up and you're like, oh, I got to drop what's important so I can work on what's urgent. And then what's urgent is done. And because there's always going to be things that are urgent. So it's about like, how do we block off time so that we can like, we can prioritize effectively. Prioritize what's important and then make space for what's urgent, but you shouldn't let what's urgent rule your life, because then it'll ruin your life, right? Another thing it said, each story writing workshop should focus on a significant objective. So they said like to pretty much have a story writing workshop. Like he mentioned quarterly, but it doesn't have to be quarterly per se. But where you map out what it is that your significant objective, what it is that you're going to be accomplishing in this in all these stories. And think about this, the story objective, it could be the minimum viable product. So what are you going to get to work and then make it better? But he did introduce a term that I to me that I hadn't heard of before, which it kind of shifts the way that you think about it, like the from the minimum viable product to the minimum marketable feature. Not sure if you've heard of that yet, but I was like, oh, minimum marketable feature. That's pretty cool. Like, what can we release that's going to be marketable and that's going to add value? So I did like that. He mentioned that when writing stories, you should involve the entire team in a story writing workshop where we all go through that. And it's not like you're writing the full story out, which I'm going to create a video on a Wednesday for the writing stories, what are the components of a story and things of that nature. But he said like the whole team should be involved, and it's pretty much writing a high level story of pretty much as this user, I want to be able to do A, B, and C so that X, Y, and Z happens, right? And you just write all that in a high level. Visualizing the relationship between the stories should be on a story map, where you have the sequence of the roles where it's going, you do this, then you do this, and you do this. So for example, you can say like you're building an e-commerce site, right? You go to the homepage, and then you go to a product page, and then you go to a product listing page, which would be like a category. Then you go to a product page, and then you add it to the cart, and then you go to to checkout and stuff like that. So that would be like the rows going across, but then the columns for like what's the priority. So let's say you have where you can from the homepage, you can search for a product, you can click on a featured product, you can click on a category. So those are all the different things, and which one is the highest priority to the lowest priority. So you can do this, or you can do that, you can do that. So your alternatives. So that was really, really cool. So the rows are sequential and the columns are in priority, right? So the most important thing might be the featured products on the page. The second most important thing might be the searching for a product. And then the third most important thing might be the clicking on a category, right? So then it has, what is one benefit you'll see from running a successful story writing workshop and using a story map? Communicate the roadmap. You can nest story maps within another story map, so that's pretty cool.
Move on, back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
So this is where I missed one of the things. If anybody who is in the chat was following along, it says to be agile, we don't estimate in terms of percentage complete. There are only 2 states for any story. These are, I guess, not complete and complete. I missed that. So if anybody was following along in the chat, because I sent it to my tech barbarians so that they could follow along, because I think it's very important for everyone to understand how stories are, like how to write stories and things of that nature. But I'm guessing it's going to be not complete and complete. Like there's no, this story is 50% done, 60% done, 90% done. It's either it's done or it's not, right? Like I don't like is it done almost? I don't like almost, because almost can be like I just got started but I'm almost done, or it could be like I am like right at the brink, so it's either is it done or not, yes or no, yes or no, it's like don't try, just get it done. You're like, oh, I'm doing my best. Sometimes your best just isn't good enough. So what are 3 qualities of something that is potentially releasable or potentially shippable? It's high quality, it's tested, and what it does it well. So it doesn't have to be every single last feature, but whatever it is that you're releasing or that you can release, it's high quality, it can be tested, and whatever it's supposed to do is doing it well. And the key, something that was emphasized is on potentially releasable. It doesn't have to be releasable or shippable, but it has the potential to be released and shipped, and it adds value, or potential value. And it says one thing that it does not have to be, it doesn't have to be cohesive, which it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be something. Let me see. Last thing says a good test to see if your feature is potentially shippable or releasable is to ask yourself, would a savvy customer pay for this project? I remember that. I didn't write it down, but would a savvy customer pay? So what it is that that is potentially shippable or releasable, would somebody pay for it? If you're building an app for somebody and it's like, I'm going to implement this feature, right? Is that a feature that they would pay for to get it done? So it's not the whole thing, but would that be a milestone that they can say, okay, now you owe me some money.
Money.
So, and then was there anything else on these notes before we wrap it up? Technique 3 was, so this one was about like when you're actually writing the story. One common problem is having too much detail in the user story, where it's like you can never get started and you're going in a linear fashion because it's like you just have too much. Where another problem is having too little. So like you'll start working on it, but then you don't have enough information to keep it going. So most teams end up with too much or too little detail. So being able to figure out how to have just enough detail and just the right amount of time, like a Goldilocks kind of effect. Two questions can you ask? What 2 questions can you ask to coach your team to add just the right amount of detail in the right amount of time? Did you need an answer before you start? Did you need an answer before you start on the story? Did we get answers just in time and just enough detail? So yeah, just different ideas. It was a really, really good, really good session. I'm gonna watch it again because it's definitely gonna help me write better stories. I'm gonna share it with my team, with team at work as well as team outside of work, so that we can be more effective, right? It was really, really good. So I highly recommend it. It was by Mountain Goat Software, Mike Cohen. I've read some of his emails, but I just wanted to share like what I got out of it. So that's that. All right, let's get to the chat real quick, and then we're gonna get back to our last segment of work before we talk about the one, the only Tyreek Hill. All right, so let me check the poll real quick. By the way, the poll says 67% says that the cop should not get fired. So I'm guessing 33% says that he should get fired. Okay, I'm with it. We will talk about that towards the end of the show. All right, so let me put up our last 20 minutes of work.
It's time to do.
All right, so let's take a look at this real quick. So we're gonna set up a model like this, where we're gonna, based on what we defined over here, we're gonna set up a similar model so that the database can store something like this, right? And then we're going to do this so we can add it to the database. Let's see. Let me see. I think that's it. All right. So I'm going to go to our code. Well, I'll be looking back and forth so that we can see what we got going on. So I'm going to say create another directory, and we're going to call that directory. I'll just do it in here for now, and then I'll clean it up afterwards. But here I'm gonna say here I'm gonna go to file model.js just to get something to work for now, and then maybe we'll come back and we'll clean it up in a following show. So we'll call this, should I call it dictionary schema or dictionary schema? I guess I'll call it dictionary schema. I don't know. And we're going to say new mongoose dot schema. And we're going to open that up like that. And we're going to say so now I'm going to be looking at economic indicator. And let me copy this whole thing in here actually, so that I can just reference it back and forth. Economic. All right. So now I can, on this screen, I can have this, right? So we're going to say here, and we're going to say type. There's going to be a string. A string is, and we're going to say it's required. So a string is pretty much just text, right? It's going to be required. We're going to say, let me minimize this down here so I can see the bottom. We're going to say source of data. And we're going to say type, and it's going to be a string again. And I do want it to be required so we can know where our data is coming from. And we're going to say URL to report. Might not be the best naming convention, I guess, but actually, I actually know exactly what it's talking about. So I wonder if we can do, let me see, type and can do type URL. Oh, look at that. Let's say that's required as well. I'm really wondering if there's a type of URL for, let me see, Mongoose schema type URL. Is there one? There might be one for it. Guess there is. I'm with it. So let me go in and add this then. npm install mongoose. Get it out the way now. Type URL. So now if we go into here, let's get rid of that. We're going to say require mongoose type URL. And we're going to come here. We're going to say type mongoose dot schema type or types dot URL. No. Why is that not there? Looks like it should be there. All right, we'll see what happens. Should be there. Unresolved variable. All right, we'll see what happens when we try to run it. Or let's just try to run it. And I don't know if let me see. Would it be able to run? Okay, so that's still running. All right, let's go here. And I don't like when these show yellow. but we'll see when we get there. All right, so let me go back to here. Definition. Type string required true. And then we have as well example. I think the example is going to be it's gonna be like this. I think we're gonna do it like that and say something like that. And let's say we go with name. And then we do example. Examples, an example explanation. So by this, I guess it would be like the example type would be like, let's say nursing, and then you'd give an example based on nursing or trucking. So that's what I'm thinking. All right. So let's go to here's examples. Let's open that, and then we're gonna say example type and string, and I think the type is going to be required. And then we do example explanation, and we say type string required true. All right, cool. So everything's going to be required. I think we're good with that. So our schema, I don't know if I'm missing anything. Am I missing anything, Mitch, or your car that we should be including? So we're gonna have our indicator. So for example, this would be like weekly jobless claims. We have the source of data would be the US Department of Labor, the URL that it's coming from, the definition, examples, which we can have multiple examples. I think we should be good. All right. It's not a super crazy API. So let's go back over here. So we need to do, all right, let's do the other part. Const dictionary equals new or equals mongoose dot model dictionary schema, and then we say module dot export equals dictionary. Cool. That's that. Let me see. Cool. So we got that. So now we are going to go back into the main file. We're going to import this. Okay. So we're gonna do this part. There's not gonna be anything returned because we haven't added anything yet. But it's a good start. So let's go back over here. And we're gonna do app.use app.get. So app.get. But there's not gonna be let's go with terms. Or let's say glossary. I don't know. I don't know what to call it endpoint. I just call it glossary. Who knows? At the end of the day, we're just gonna be serving the data to us anyways. All right, so now oops. We got that. We're gonna say, oh, forgot to add up here. Const. Oops. Jeez. My goodness. Dictionary equals require dot models. Okay. Did I call it model or models? Oh, let me rename that. Refactor. All right, cool. So we got that. We're importing the dictionary. If we come back down here now, we'll say const dot all terms equals await dictionary dot find say return. We're gonna add a status over here. 200. Oops, 200. JSON all dogs. Cool. We're definitely gonna make this a lot cleaner because this is gonna be in its own separate routes file. Like all this is gonna be in its own separate file. And yeah, all this stuff, this connection stuff is gonna be its own separate file, but we're just getting this to work right now. So once we have that working, we should be good. So let's go stop and rerun. And if we were to go to, I guess I could use this. So if we were to go to 3000, first we should get that correct. Then if I did glossary, I should get an empty list. I didn't get an error. See, I got my 200 okay, right? So that's good. That is good. No, I have this authorized here because all right, so I guess it works either way. However, I want this to be I want it to be inside the API path, right? So if we start again and we come back over here, if we run, now if we try this again, it should fail because perfect. But if I add API, nice. All right, how much time left? Ooh, I don't think we're gonna make it, but we can continue. And we'll pick this up next week because this is awesome. I want to add a I don't want to add the ID yet because I want to be able to add a new one. So I want to go do post, right? I want to do post. I honestly like kind of do post first when I'm developing this stuff so that I can actually add something to the database. But let's start off with the post, right? So app.post and API/glossary and async. Oops. Async. And now we're going to say const new term entry, I guess, equals new dictionary dot rec dot body. And then we're going to say const insert term equals await new term entry dot save. So that's going to be adding it to the database, and then return. I guess you want to go to the 201. All right. So let's close that. And let's try to run it again. To get any errors. All right, so that's there. So if we go back to our Talent API, oops. All right, I know we only have 40 seconds left, right? But we're gonna actually try this, okay? So let's go to a post, and we're going to be using all right. And we're gonna follow our model. So I should be able to just copy this right here.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
So let me put this on the same line for now. I'll figure that part out after. But we have all of this. And we'll say example type, let's say trucking. And let me get a example. Go to ChatGPT. And how would you explain the weekly jobless claims to can't say. To a truck driver from the U.S. Department of Labor to a truck driver in an easy to understand way. All right. So let's submit that. Let's see what we get. Copy that. And I'm going to paste this right here. All right. So let's see what happens if we go ahead and we submit this. All right. I think we got everything. I think we got everything. I probably want to add a. I'll probably end up adding a added date to the database. But this is our first one. This is our first one. All right. Let's see what happens. What? We got a 201 created. Let's get it. All right. So now we're just going to go back to this one and see if we do a retrieval, if anything comes back to us. All right. Another. What? Would you look at that? Why does this one get an ID? I don't want an ID on this one. I gotta look into that because I don't think we need an ID over here. But regardless, we have our explanation, we have our examples, our definition, our URL. I like it. I like it a lot. And then I'll change this so it doesn't give this little underscore later on. But just getting this initial setup done is amazing. You don't need to have a version on here, all that type of stuff. But this is great. This is great. Cool. Anything else? I think we're good. I think we're good. We're already out of time, so let's go back to full screen. Yeah. Let me guys know what you think. So far, we were able. Let me check this off on my list though of things we were able to do. So we got the database schema done. We haven't started testing the libraries yet. We didn't look at the existing dictionary, but I don't even think we need to look at their existing dictionary anymore. Because we pretty much got it on lock. All right. Let me see. Let's see. So we did the post. Still got to do some cleanup on the post. I'm going to mark that in like an orange. Oops. We got the get, but we still need a lot more work on the get. We also have to get by a single endpoint. So let's see. Get by ID. All right, cool. That one we haven't done yet. And we started building the API, connect the API to the database, and we connect to Mongoose. So let's put that also in orange. Cool. We did a lot. We did a lot. All right, let's go back to full screen. I like it. I like where we're heading here. So hopefully, like, I don't think we have that much left to do. So next week we will do the get by ID. Maybe I'll add a status to whether it's active or not active. That way we can control what results are returned and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm happy. So yeah, next week we'll continue. And we can even start using it before we get all the endpoints created. Like we don't need the delete yet. We don't need necessarily to put in the patch yet. I think we just need to be able to add quotes to the database and then to retrieve them. And then as we need to, we can, and for me, now that I'm thinking about the stories, that's the what was that term that they use? The minimum marketable feature, right? So if we get the post and the get, and we're able to connect that to our front end of the Urban Dictionary of economic data, then we're in good shape. Minimum marketable feature. All right, let me check the chat, and then I'm going to end the poll, and then we'll talk about it, right? So Mitch says, do I want to know what he picked? Of course I want to know what you picked. And Alexis says, spoken like a true hard. Terrible. Let me see. Cool. All right. Let me check the poll results real quick, and then we will. So we had, still 33% said yes, the officer should be fired, and 67% said that that officer or officers should not be fired. Right. All right. So I'm not even gonna put the timer up for this last part, but I'm gonna put up this conversation we're gonna have, right? Because final thoughts. I am not, in case you can tell, I'm not Tyreek Hill. And why do I say that? So when he was in his press conference after the game, right, which I think he was lucky as hell that he got to play in the game. He was like, number one, he absolutely lied about the whole interaction, right? But but something he said was, what if it was not Tyreek Hill? What would have happened? Well, I can tell you exactly what happened. They would have took to jail. See, I live in South Florida. I used to be on that street every single day, right? And that speed limit over there is probably like 40 miles per hour, and on game day it's even slower. And to see like how he was zooming in and out, and then they stop him, and he gets like so rude for no reason, right? And I'm just thinking, what if there was somebody who was crossing the street while he was zooming in and out of traffic like that, and now they get hit, and now guess what? He's going to jail. Like you're not gonna play in the game for and go for like 150 yards or something like that. So I when I when I saw the whole thing, I'm like, I was at the park at the basketball court, and someone's like, "Oh, Tyreek Hill is getting arrested" or something like that. And I'm thinking, I already had in my mind that he probably said or did something stupid. Like if it's not for like some other crime, he probably said or did something stupid. And turns out I was right. Like I don't I don't understand. Like me, I've always seen it as it's not the badge that's the power. It's the gun that's the power. And people will be more respectful to a criminal pulling a gun on them than a police officer pulling a gun on them. And then when I see these quote unquote famous people who they're like, "Oh my god, it was this, it was that. Oh my god, it was this, it was that." No, I think it was just stupidity. Honestly, I think it was just stupidity. Like, do you know who I am? Yeah, you're a person who's about to go to jail. That's who you are. And shout out to the agent. Shout out to the agent. Like he got him out of that. He got him out of that mess. But lucky I was in the cop, because I would have. I've dealt with MDPD, and I'm not Tyreek Hill, and I've been just fine. But one thing I know about cops, they don't like when you get an attitude and stuff.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
And I'll wrap it up like this. This is why I've walked away from a lot of stuff. Celebrities, sports, musicians, and all that type of stuff. And that's why I just do me. I don't care what anybody has to say. I don't care what anybody. I'm like, I'm just gonna do me. Like it or not, love it or hate it. Because for some reason, we always gravitate towards the absolute worst role models. And that's why I'm just my own role model at the end of the day. And I think if we actually become our own role models, then we won't have to beg for direction and leadership from people who don't know nothing about nothing. That's just me. I don't know. All I know is I am not Tyreek Hill, and thank God that I'm not. Although I would take the money though. I would take the money. I'm just saying. But other than that, I don't want anything like I don't want. Nope. As Anton says, money doesn't improve your character. It just proves who you really are. I'm just saying. I got my guy in the building. What's up, Javi? What's good? What's going? You know what, Mitch? Your car. Javi came up to me yesterday. He's like, I got a bone to pick with you. I'm like, what? He's like, you said this and this on the stream. I'm like, no. You misunderstood. You totally misunderstood. That was Mitch that was wrong. That was not me. That was Mitch that was wrong. Anyway, so I want to grow up to be like Ravi. So look at that. We got a genius in the chat. Oh my goodness. All right, what else we got? Anything else before we wrap it up? Let me see. That's about it. Oh, I'm gonna get out of here. Got things to do. Got tomorrow. I got a long weekend ahead, and then I'm traveling not next week but the week after. So got to get everything prepared. Yeah, you know how you and your car get into your for the people sentimental type stuff, and I was like, yeah, I am never for the people. That's all mention your car who's for the people. I'd be like, what people? You mentioned me. I'm like, for the people, what people? I'm just saying. Anyways, you know how it goes, Mitch. You know how it goes. But I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed us building out this API. And we're gonna get back. We're gonna continue with it next week. I think by next week we might be able to get it in a good state where we can connect the API to the front end, and we go from there. You know, but yeah. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You see how the how everything is made. Oh, I almost forgot. Before we even wrap it up, Alexis says that she is accepting birthday gifts. Her birthday is the 15th. Well, I have a great gift for you, Alexis. The gift is you are going to get a pass on Scrum Nights because it's your birthday, and you have to get your Playwright test, and you need to get it in GitHub so that we can do a code review before your birthday. All right, so happy birthday to you, Alexis. We are so happy and excited, that you're going to that the gift that I gave you, that you're gonna really enjoy it. You're gonna crush it. So shout out to you.
You the best. Let's get it.
What? You don't want a gift from me? What? Oh man.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
That's hilarious. Anyways. You guys wish Alexis a happy birthday week. Although, just wait 1 second here. Wait 1 second. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, the 15th. All right, you got it. We hope that you have a very, very happy birthday. Um, Mitch, Mitch says, give her a quiz on her birthday. I'm telling you, you see, look at that. Alexis, you remember the other day you were Team Mitch? You remember the other day you were Team Mitch? And look how quickly they turned on you.
Bruh.
I don't you, see, I'm telling you, my circle, we have no shame, no remorse, we have no loyalty. It is a dog eat dog world. See, my circle of friends represent the real world. See, it's a hard lesson. It's a hard lesson, but we represent the real world because we are cutthroat. We're tech mercenaries. Just saying. You're like, oh, I'm gonna agree with Mitch, and then in a heartbeat, you are stabbed in the back, and it's in the back if you're lucky, because a lot of times we'll just stab you straight in the front. You know, like we don't. I'm just saying. And Mitch says he'll even give you a vegetarian unlimited supply of Oreos. Mm-hmm. It says, why did we say happy birthday the other day? Definitely played us. Because I said that we're going to celebrate the entire week for Alexis. All right. So, you know, quizzes and automation and stuff like that. You know, we you know how we do. You know how we do. It says we have absolutely no shame, you know, because
best.
we are the best, you know. All right. I'm gonna get out of here. Let me stop messing with you guys. I really appreciate you all. But I have a question for you guys. I have a question.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I'm very entertained. I had a great time. I learned a lot. And this is going to help us. Hopefully in like 2 shows, we have this dictionary up and ready to go so that we can stop using my ghetto spreadsheet and we can have something good to go. All right. But you guys know that yesterday's price is not today's price, and today's price is certainly not tomorrow's price, because if you embrace that opportunity economy, yes, if you embrace the opportunity economy, then the price of the brick is certainly going to go.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
The price of the brick is always going up, especially in that opportunity economy. But on that note, you guys enjoy it. Enjoy the opportunity economy. But this is Tech Coach Ralph, and we are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.